Alright, I would like to show you how to add a quiz onto Moodle. And when I write the quizzes, what I do is I'll go through the chapter. Here's the BlueStakes chapter that we built before. And I'll go through here and I'll read through this whole thing and see what the most important things in each section are. What's the most important points that I want people to remember, and I'll try to make a question that somehow checks to see if people actually understood that one point. And so when we have a full chapter like this one, I try to make at least 10 questions. And if it's just like a little toolbox talk or something like that, I only make it 5 questions because we don't need to make that harder than it needs to be. And the whole thing with the quizzes is that I'm trying to check for accountability and really drive home some points that are very important for everyone to understand. I'm not so much trying to trick people or to make this a stressful experience. So all of this should be very base level, very practical kind of stuff we're asking here. But they should still be kind of hard questions. It shouldn't be something that someone could just blow through without even thinking about it. So anyway, that's the balance I'm trying to create. Let's go ahead. I just want to add 2 different types of questions. I want to show you how to add the multiple choice questions, and I want to show you how to add a true or false question, because that's the majority of everything you're going to do. I can do also a place in order. I don't think I will do a video on that. You can experiment with that option if you'd like to do it, but I'm not going to make that a part of this video. I'm also going to add a third type of question, the essay question. And the essay question's there so people can add notes if they took them. I really encourage everyone to take notes because I feel like that's where people are actually going to change, is when they're taking notes or when they're sharing inside of the class. That's when the decision moment happens for them to be like, oh, this is something important that I can contribute, because it's coming from inside of them. And so I'm encouraging note taking, but I'm not requiring it. And I'll show you how I encourage but don't require it as well. So let's go ahead and go to Moodle. I shouldn't have deleted that. I need to get back in there. Oh well. Okay, let's go to the safety and training website, and I'll just sign in. One of these days. Okay, now I'm going to go to BlueStakes right here on the side. If you don't see it there on the side, you could go to the, I'll just show you. Let's go back home. Okay, make sure that the toolbar is there. Okay, so if you open up, let's just pretend you opened up on the dashboard. You're either going to open up on the dashboard or on home. Well, you're going to click home if you did. Okay, now we're going to go scroll down till we see BlueStakes and excavation. Okay, and so yeah, we have our video and our chapter here, and now I'm actually going to go to my computer, my desktop here, and pull up the chapter, because that'll be quicker than downloading it, because I'm going to use the chapter as my basis for the quiz. So I need that up. I really should not have gotten out of it. Okay, there we go. So I've got this. I'm going to just pull it off onto another screen off to the side, but I've got it up. Okay, so now let's go ahead and, if you have been editing recently, you might see some links over here, some buttons, some orange text that say something like add an activity or edit or something, but I haven't been. So I'm going to go up and make sure that I get those by clicking on this little gear up here and going to turn on editing. And here you go. There are those little orange links or buttons or whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to add my quiz down here at the bottom by clicking the add an activity or resource and go to quiz. Okay, now this isn't going to deal with any of the questions. This right here, we're on a settings page that just talks about the quiz as an overall quiz, not the questions themselves. So I'm gonna name this, and I name all of them take the quiz, because that is, there we go, take the quiz, because that's very intuitive. It shows up on the course page, and people are like, oh, where do I take oh, there it is. I click on this link and I take the quiz. We don't need a description, so we're not going to worry about that. We don't really need to add any timing, but I do want to make sure that I'm not enabling anything here. Oh, I guess that can be enabled. Yeah, we won't worry about that. But all of this is not a big deal. We just don't want We don't want these dates here to be enabled, because if we do, that means that people's quizzes will expire, and probably not when we want them to. Okay, passing grade, grade to pass. I think I need to put 9.5 here. And the reason I'm doing 9.5 is because I want to allow people to slip one question if they took notes. And if they didn't take notes, I want them to make sure that they get a perfect score. It's just it's a nice thing I do for the kids who are good kids and take notes. All right. Layout, never all the questions. Yeah. So new page. Let's have all of the new questions be on the same page. That just make sure that everything's on the same page. I don't want to allow shuffle within questions. That means that the answers are going to change around, and I find that just a little bit confusing. So just to make it easier on everyone, I'm going to say no. How questions behave. I want them to be interactive with multiple tries, which means that as they're taking the quiz, they can click on a button on the side of the quiz and check and see if they got the right answer for a specific question. And if they didn't, then they can go and retake that one question instead of having to take the whole quiz all over again. And on this, what I like to do is click off every one that it will let me except for the right answer. And this just shows what's available. What I don't want them to be able to do is see what the right answer is unless they got it right. I do want them to know whether they got it right. I want them to know how many points they have. I want them to know any specific feedback for that question or any general feedback for the whole quiz. But I don't want them to know the right answer. So I'm going to leave that blank on all three of these columns and then check off all the other ones that the computer will let me. And some of them it won't. I'm not going to worry about that after it closes. Appearance. I think that's all good. Don't need to worry about that. Extra restrictions on attempts. I think that would be more for if we were doing this for like a school thing and you only had 3 attempts to take the quiz. I want to let them have it unlimited. And this is overall feedback for the entire quiz. I don't ever worry about that. I go to individual feedback for each question. And then this restricted access is kind of important. At least I find it important. So what I want to do is I don't want someone to be able to get on and take the quiz without either watching the video or taking the chapter, reading the chapter. And so what I'm going to do is, I'll get out of that. I'm going to hit add restriction. And so they're going to have to, we could say they have to get a certain grade in something, or they have to take it on a certain date. I don't want to do that because I want this to be timeless. Instead, I'm going to say they have to complete one of the activities. And the first activity is they have to complete the training video. And the second activity is they have to read the chapter. Now, if I keep this "and" word right here, that means they're going to have to do both of those things. And I'd really like them to be able to do one or the other. If they want to read the chapter, that's probably going to be the better material. But if they don't want to read a whole chapter, they can watch the training, and they're going to get the same information either way. And so, depending on their learning styles, I'm just going to let them do either of them. And so I'll go over to this all and switch it to any. And so now they can either watch the video or read the chapter. And if either of those two are marked off, then they'll be allowed to take the quiz. And I'll show you how that looks in just a second. The last thing I want to do here is I want to make sure that students can, I want to make sure that the activity is completed only when conditions are met. So show activity as complete when conditions are met. There we go. And I need to click this. This says that the students are going to have to view the activity before it's marked as complete, and that students must receive a grade to complete this activity, and that they're required to have a passing grade or have all their attempts exhausted. I want to give them unlimited attempts, so I'm not going to click that. I just want to make sure that I get all the way to this require passing grade. So they're not done with the quiz unless they get that passing grade of 9.5. Save, and it's going to break us back to the home page right here, and you can see that it has a restriction. I can't click on this link. Okay, I can click on this link because I'm an administrator, but if I were a student, I wouldn't be able to actually take this quiz unless I had either watched the training video or read the chapter, and they would do that by clicking off these check marks on the side. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So this is how you would take the quiz, and you would start, there would be an option here to take the quiz if I were a student, but since I'm an administrator, I have this option to edit the quiz, and that's where I'm going to start adding questions. So let me go start adding questions. Actually, and let me go back for just a second and explain one more thing. Will it let me go back? Yeah, okay, so we're back here. If I wanted to go change any of those settings that I had just made on that one overall setting page, I could click that little gear and the first option, and it would take me right back to where I was. And you'll see that it has all the settings that we added just a second ago. Okay, so I'm going to save return to course, show you how I get back into that. So you go down, you click this, and because you're an administrator, you can start changing some things. We're going to edit the quiz, and we are going to say that the maximum grade for this, I think we're going to leave it at 11. I hope. We're going to play with this and make sure before I finish this video that is the correct option. Let's go ahead and add a new quiz. Question. Add a new question. So right underneath shuffle, add new question. And I want this one to be a multiple choice question. So it's right there, multiple choice. And here is a whole nother setting page just for that one question. And I'm going to pull my question from the quiz that I wrote here. Okay. Oh, will it not let me? It might not let me copy and paste. At least not that. Oh, yeah, it will. It will. There's just some kind of weird linking thing deep in there. Okay. So let me Oh well, I can work with that. I'll just copy that and delete what I don't want. Okay, question name. I do this for all my questions. I just name it the sequential order of the question. Question 1. And this is going to be the text of the question. Valid for, okay, that's the actual question. I just copied that from the chapter. I'm not going to worry about general feedback. The number of choices, I always do A, B, C. You could do it as a number or as the I's, whatever. It doesn't matter too much. And then you start writing your answers here. So what were the answers that I had? Let me bring that up off to the side. I had an A, B, oh, look, there we go. Now I can see it. Okay, so this is going to be, oh, I'm covering it all up. Okay, there we go. No, no, no. Give me just a second while I fight with my computer. There we go. Now I can see. Oh, please, 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 please. I apologize that you had to sit here and watch that. Okay, here we go. So the first question, the first answer I have is 7 days. And I need to make sure that the grade, if someone were to click this option, they're not going to get a grade for that. It's going to be no point values for that one question or that one answer because that's the wrong answer. The next one, we're going to do 10 days. And that's also the wrong answer, so I want to make sure that we're on none there. Okay, right here for question number 3, or for choice number 3, I'm sorry, 14 days. And that is the correct answer, so I want them to get 100% grade for clicking that answer. Okay, and number 4 is going to be 21 days. Okay. Yeah, oh, except for that right there. I'm going to capitalize that. There we go. Then we got cohesion through here. Okay, now we also have this 5th option, but since I don't have a need for it, Moodle will just delete it. But let's say I had lots more options. Maybe I had, 8 or so options. I can click this blank for 3 more choices, and it will give me the option to have 3 more choices, and I can keep on clicking that if I had 11 more choices, or if I had more, I can just keep on clicking that until I get as many options as I need. And then Moodle will go through and just delete any ones that I don't use. So we're all good here. Now, what if they got the question wrong? Well, I want them to be able to see some feedback from me. And so I'm going to say down here, this will be if they choose this question, this feedback will show. I'm going to say that BlueStakes allows, I don't need to capitalize that, allows for more days than this. And that will just tell them that, oh, okay, the answer's greater than this. I'll do that. The same thing for this one. And for this one, instead of saying it allows, I'm going to say does not allow this many days. Okay, and that will give them just a little bit of a hint if they get something wrong. Okay, now we could also go in and add more feedback. So if they needed multiple tries, you could add more options of feedback to give them for this one question. I'm not going to worry about that. I think we've given them great enough hints already, and the fact that they can keep on taking the one question by itself over and over again, I think that's great enough. So we're going to hit Save Changes. And there you can see our one question right there. Now let's open that. Oh, I'm sorry. That just brings us to the page that we were just on. So that's good to know. If you ever needed to go back and change any of those, you just click right on that. But I think there's a preview option. Oh, no. Okay, I'll make this big screen. Yeah, preview question. It's this little magnifying glass. And so this is what it looks like. And let me click this at the bottom. You'll submit there'll be an option here to submit the whole quiz. But until then, you can just click. Oh, and it's shuffling. I don't want it to shuffle, but oh well. Okay, I'm coming in much later and inserting this into the video. I think I figured out what I did wrong here. When I was in this menu up here for just the question, I should have deselected this shuffle the choice. There we go. And now it should be just fine. Okay, you can see there it is. BlueStakes allows for more days than this. That way I know it's probably something more than that. Let me start again. Take that question all over again. Let's try 7. Oh, no. Let's try 21. Yep, that is all the feedback we wanted, and that looks good. Let's go ahead and try 14. I'm not going to put any feedback for that because that little green check marks all the feedback I think I need. Okay, great. So that is the question 1. Let's go ahead and show you how to do a true or false. Really very similar, not that big of a deal. I think my first true or false is actually question 3. And we can do these questions out of order and then go back and put them in order later. So let me work on number 3 and I'll add number 2 sometime off the video so you don't have to watch me do this whole entire quiz. True or false. Add. This is going to be question 3. Because that's what it is inside the chapter. There's the question text. And the correct answer is either true or false. Let me see what I said it was. What did I say it was? For number 3, the answer is B, which was false. Okay, great. So that's, do I need to give them any feedback? No, I think they'll know. When if they click true and they get the wrong answer, they'll know that it's false. So that's not really a big deal. Okay, there we go. Let me go ahead and pause the video here. I'll add in all the other questions and then bring it back in on the essay question. Okay, I have added some more questions in here. And we're going to add in the essay question at the end. But before we do, I want to go back and fix something that I misrepresented. So we're going back to the course page, and I just clicked on up on the carrot trail up here. I had this BlueStakes. I just clicked on that, but you could have just clicked on this side thing, or you could have gone to the home menu and located it that way if you wanted to. So one of the problems is that when I set up this quiz, let me go over. I'll click on here, and I'm going to go to that edit settings, and that will take me to the main page. This main page doesn't deal with settings that have to do with the quiz questions so much as it deals with settings that deal with the quiz in general. So we have the name of the quiz up here. We've been on here before. This was where we set up the restrictions. Okay, so when I was setting in the grade, I said 9.5. I have since gone back and changed that to 10. 9.5 would have worked just fine. But I realized it's probably easier just to put the number of questions you plan to have minus the essay question at the end. And I say that because we want people to get either a perfect score, or I'm going to let them slide on one question as long as they submit an essay question, because the essay question is really important. It's where people start to make changes in their ways of thinking. As if they write something down, it's where the goals to change how we operate come from, is from that question. So I think it's worth letting someone pass. We're going to give them a little bit of an incentive to actually fill that out. So I'm going to write 10 here, but you could put 9.5. I think it's just easiest to remember that whatever amount of questions you were going to put in there, put in that, and then we'll give them one extra than that as the essay question. Okay, so let me go in here. And that's not really a big deal. If that was too confusing, don't worry about it. Just leave things as they are, and everything will turn out just fine. Okay, so now you can notice we don't have that edit quiz question, or that edit quiz button anymore. It's all gone. And that's because it thinks we're done writing the quiz, which is okay, because we can still access it by going to this little gear and go to the fourth option down. And there we are. We're back to editing the quiz questions. Okay, we're going to add a new question. Just add a new question, not from bank and not a random question. We're going to add a new question. And your first thought might be to add this essay option, but we're not going to do that because the essay question makes somebody go in there and grade it. And I think what we'd like to do is we'd like to be able to access what they write, but we don't want to have to grade every single person's essay. So instead, we're going to go make this a short answer. And this isn't a perfect way of fixing that problem, but it's a good way of doing it. And yes, there is a way to cheat this system, and there'll always be a way to cheat this system. And so we're just going to have to trust people now. This is totally on an honor code basis here. Okay, so we're adding bonus question 11. And the answer that it will be looking for is just 10 straight characters. We want them to at least write 10 characters. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to indicate that by just putting an asterisk. 10 asterisks. There's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10. Okay. And if they have at least 10 characters in this box, we're just going to go ahead and give them 100% for this question. Sure, they could write something stupid, but that's part of the honor system. And if you find that they've written something stupid, you can always go back and regrade their score, and they'll have to take it again. That's part of your... Oh, there must be a value here. Oh, I'm sorry. So we have to ask them the question. Here's the question. The question is going to be, please include your notes and thoughts from the training. We're not going to tell them that it's a bonus question because I'd like them to get a perfect score and answer notes. But we'll still leave it as an incentive. Okay, save changes. Great. Now you can see my maximum grade up here is 11. Oh,
11.00.
Yep, now it's going to read it to me. Great. Okay, so yes. And you could put that as 12 or 13 and how many questions you have. We could just leave it at 10, but I'd like to see who gets the extra. So I'm going to just put 11 there. So they can get 11. We're requiring them to get 10, and it can be any 10 of these 11. So they can miss one of them. They could choose to let it be the notes one, or they could choose to let it be another one if they include notes. Okay, let's go ahead and just take the quiz and see what it looks like. Okay, we're going to go to BlueStakes next. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm an administrator, and anytime I take this quiz as an administrator, it's just going to think about it as if it's going to pretend like I was just previewing it. So it won't really save those results. I want to actually see what the student is seeing. So I'm going to switch to my role to a student. And so this is what the student sees when he gets on here. We're going to spice this up so this page looks a little bit nicer. And he can't take the quiz yet. I'm going to cheat the system and just check that off. Okay, now you can see it gives me the option to take the quiz. That's one of those honor code things. So let's take the quiz. We're actually taking it now. And you can see I can click the right answer and I can check it. And it will give me a little green check mark. Okay, great. Now what if I do the wrong answer? What happens is I get the little feedback over here off the side, a little red X telling me I got it wrong, I've got the answer incorrect, but I can also try another question like this. And what this option does is it doesn't just give me another question like this, it gives me the exact same question, which I think is nice. I think that's a nice thing to do to people. There we go, they can check it. And this way, by the time we submit, we already know that we've either gotten something wrong or something right, and they don't have to keep on retaking the quiz over and over again and just getting frustrated. We can just take individual questions over and over again until we get it exactly right. Okay. That's false. I did that wrong. I knew that was the wrong answer. Okay. Let me go through and really quickly just do all this. And we can do it without checking our answers too. Let's go none of the above. That's false. Oh, I got an extra space in here. Let's go ahead and fix that after this. Request remarking. Yes, that's true. 60 inches. That's false. This one's fun. Relocate to a safe area, then contact emergency services, then contact BlueStakes, then contact the supervisor. Okay, and then let me, in fact, I'm gonna show you how this works when you don't take notes. Okay, finish attempt. I know that I got these three. I didn't check these ones. That's okay. We're gonna submit and finish. Man, there's a lot of, they really want to know if you're committing to this. And I committed to it. And I got all of this right. Let's see if, let me go back to the page. Let me see if it's saying that I have passed with a passing grade. Let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to go to the dashboard. And if it says I've got this thing finished, where are you, BlueStakes? There you are. Okay, well, it's saying that I've at least passed the quiz. At some point we're going to fix this so that as long as you pass the quiz, then it's all good and it will say you've completed the course. Okay, great. Well, so you don't need that. And it would be the same thing. You can see this. If you added at least 10 characters into that box and missed one of these other boxes, it would be the exact same thing as if you hadn't. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and go in and edit that one question. Let me make sure I know which question that was. There was one of them that had just an extra white space, and I want to use this as an example to show you how to go back and edit questions once someone's taken the quiz. Okay, let's review this. Which question was it? It was, okay, question 6, option B. There's an extra white space there. Just want to get rid of that. I'm going to return to my normal role as an administrator. And you can see now I'm reviewing this student Corey Haddon's attempt, and I can make comments or override. I can say, hey, great job. Okay. And I can say, you're going to get 2 points for that one, because you did such a great job. And I'm going to hit OK down there. It's kind of hidden. Let's see. bring it into the screen so you can actually see. Okay, save. Grade is outside the valid range. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, let's give him a half point for that then. Okay, half point. And you could do that with the essay questions. See, if someone said something stupid, you could go in and be like, yeah, that was just stupid. You're not getting any points for that. Okay, but I'm not going to talk much more about that. Let's go in and actually try to edit this. Oh, I do want to see if that changed, because that now puts my score below a passing grade. And you can see that took away, there were 3 requirements to this course, and it took away 1/3 of the requirements. So there you go. If you don't get the passing grade, it won't mark off. Okay, let's just go back to BlueStakes. I'm sorry, I'm just taking so much of your time with this video. Let's go in to the question. Let me show you how to edit this once someone's taken it. Now you can see you cannot add or remove questions because this quiz has been attempted. Let's just try that. Let's go ahead and, oh, they won't even let us. There's no trash can to get rid of these things, and there's no adding questions. Let's say if we wanted to actually add a question, we'd have to go in and delete all the user attempts beforehand and make everyone take the quiz again. So what I would have to do, these will be all the attempts, so you can see everybody's chances or tries. And I'm gonna just delete the selected attempt. Okay. And there we go. We have nobody has taken this quiz now. I've gone and I've erased everything. I'm going back to the quiz page. Go to edit quiz. And there we go. We got our add button back and we got our trash can back. Okay, but we're just going to go into question 6. Pretty hunky-dory. And it was this one. Yep, there's that little extra white space. Okay, there you go. Perfect. And that is adding quizzes. Let me just go through and I'll take the quiz one more time with all of the changes. And I'll get one question wrong just to prove the concept here. Okay, let's make sure that I get this one wrong. It's 7 days is incorrect, and I'm going to prove that. That was the wrong one. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and go white paint. That's false. That's none of the above. This is false. This is that one. That one's true. This one is 60. This one is false. This one is like this. Oh, go back in there. Okay. And now I'm going to include some notes here. I think we need to what kind of a suggestion was I gonna say? We need to be better about remarking damaged painted areas. You know, that's not very eloquent, but that's okay. Now we can check, and because I have at least 10 characters in there, I got that one right. Now, okay, let's finish this attempt. Submit all and finish, and let's see. You can see I got that first one wrong, but I got all the other ones correct, and that gives me 10 out of 11, which is a passing grade. We're going to finish the review, and let's go back to the dashboard and just make sure that I'm getting a 66% on my course. Oh, I got 100%. Okay, I am all done with this course. That's working the way that I wanted it to work. Great. Nice job. Okay, cool. I watched the video. I took the quiz. I am done with this course. Okay, great. We'll show you a little bit more about how to make this page look like the appropriate Moodle-worthy course page that it should be. Like this one, where it has labels and and steps and things to take. Okay, cool. Thank you very much.